Welcome back to RC Fun and Games. I am Ryan and today we're going to start the IR40 Injora build. We are going to talk about what parts I'm going to be using and of course then we'll start the assembly. So first off, we are going to be using the new carbon chassis which is adaptable to all the platforms, High Trail, Bronco and Defender. So I wanted to give this one a try. I think it's going to be an awesome chassis and it was also designed to take the laydown servo mount. So this is why I chose this one specifically, because I decided to go for the 4mm extended axles with the laydown servo. So let's see what this setup is going to be like, as I haven't tried it yet on any of my Traxxas Trx4ms. I'm really looking forward to try this out. Another part that I haven't featured on the channel yet that we're going to be using on this build is the 72 by 27mm tires from Injora and their 1.3 inch rims. This combination looks awesome and I can't wait to throw them on the truck. So this is another part we haven't reviewed yet on the channel. Besides that, we're going to be using the awesome new 20 amp escape from Injora, which apparently has really smooth and slow modulation. Really looking forward to giving this one a try, and I believe it is 2 and 3S capable. Now, besides that, we're going to be running the Bros gearbox mount. We're going to be running the fully assembled gearbox with the reduction gears and the 48T motor from Injora. We will also be running their 11 kilogram servo, which in my opinion has been really good. On all the builds I've used it, it's been an awesome product. Besides that, I have gone for the Bros high clearance links. I haven't tried these yet, so looking forward to trying these as well. Of course, then we've got the servo horn that comes with the servo, and I have gone for the 59mm shocks without the piggy and with the Bros ends. I tried some on one of my tarantulas and they were awesome, so definitely looking forward to putting these on the build. Besides that, to go with the electronics and everything, I went for their 6-channel Dumbo receiver licensed under Injora. I've been using these for years and they're really reliable and the price is nice and cheap. So if you're looking for a cheap receiver and transmitter combo, don't forget these are always really good. And of course, all this is going to be covered by this awesome new body by Injora. This is the IR40. To me, it looks like a good old Toyota Land Cruiser. And I think this is going to be one awesome, detailed looking body. So let me not talk anymore. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get stuck in and start assembling. Now, to start off, let's get our table clear. But we are going to start with the carbon fiber chassis, the new one that's just been launched. So let's get this assembled and we'll go from there. Okay, so let's start by getting this carbon fiber chassis open and assembled, of course. And it looks like they provide instructions for this chassis, so that's always handy. So looking at the instructions here, it does tell you to use the short extensions that are provided, these little ones here. So that would be these inside this packet if you were assembling it for the High Trail. Okay, that's the K10 or the F150, but we are basically building this on a chassis for Bronco or Defender, so we will not be using these parts, so these can go to the side. Let's get these out of here. Okay, now grabbing a short and a long rail, you are going to take the long rail and you're going to put it on the outside of the short rail. Okay, so it's going to be sitting like this and the screws are going to come through from the outside. So I'm just going to drop my screws through here. And we're going to be using the 2 by 6mm screws. Just put it through our rail. We don't have to use Loctite on these because they've already got nylon in the nuts. Okay, now that you've got both chassis rails built, this should look something like this, with the long one sitting to the outside, this one sitting to the inside, and your nuts facing the inside. Now we're going to grab the two poles that are provided, and this time they are aluminium, which is making them a lot lighter than the brass ones, so I'm really happy with that. We are going to take the longer one on the back part that's going to take the tray. Okay, now we're going to be using the 2mm by 6 for this, so we're going to stick that through the top corner hole on the shock mount. Now we're going to grab a bit of Loctite, and you're going to put just a little bit on each side and screw it on to your chassis rail. Okay, and using this upper hole right here, we are then going to grab our tray and we are going to fit that in as well. Okay, now that we've got to this stage, this is what it should look like, and we're going to be fitting the gearbox mount, gearbox and drive shafts. That's our next mission. So this is what you get with the gearbox mount. I've gone for the brass one. The reason I've done that is I'm going to be using a set of stainless steel drive shafts I have lying around on this build, which I am waiting for the hardened ones to arrive. So as soon as they arrive, I can then use these slots that they've made here to access this and remove the drive shafts while everything else is still in place. With the other mounts, you cannot do that because you don't have access to the screw. Okay, just pointing that out. And of course, here's the hardware they provide to fit it. So we're going to be using that. Before we do that, let's open up the gearbox as well. Put this back there. Hardware needed. And of course, the awesome gearbox. Now, one thing I definitely do recommend is opening this up and fitting grease to it before you do the installation. And as you can see, I didn't go crazy. I just put enough to lubrify it all, and in case the gears rub against each other, there's a little bit of grease in between as well. I just like having my system nice and quiet. I'm sure you guys have noticed on the videos, you can barely hear my cars. Anyway, I'm gonna throw this closed, go and wipe my hands and assemble it all back up. Okay, now that we've got the gearbox assembled, let's put our drive shafts back on. So our rear one will go on this side. Okay, now we're gonna fit our gearbox to this awesome new chassis that they've come out with, and I just wanna see, am I gonna have the same trouble as the High Trail? And no. Look at that. Just the right size, perfectly straight and the right size. Ah, I love it. Well done, Injora, nice job. I think I'm gonna really like this chassis. Now, we're gonna grab the screws that were provided part of the mount. Let's start with those. What a nice fit. I haven't even tightened it yet, and I just want to show you, look how straight the rails are. Okay, now that we've got to this stage, before I move on any further, I'm going to grab all these little pieces that were given with the chassis, and I'm going to fit them. It's where our bumpers are going to run, and basically I believe they're going to go on the inside over here, okay? Just on the tip of your chassis on both sides. So let's find the screws. Okay, so now we're going to be using these tiny little screws that are provided, the smallest one in the first packet with the chassis, and we are going to just screw this on to right here. So now our chassis is all ready for our bumpers, for everything else. We don't have to do anything else to the chassis. So now we can move on. So I am going to assemble our links, and then we're going to assemble our axles and get all that on. So let's move on to the links. They look awesome. They weigh maybe a little bit more than the stainless steel ones. Not much of a difference between the two. Okay, so I'm gonna put one on this side, screw your end on, and of course just pop your ball in. Okay, and there you are. It's as simple as that. So repeat the process. On the upper ones on both sides you're gonna fit a spacer. This is gonna do a lot of good things for your rig. One of them, it's going to tilt the actual axle forward, which lifts the back side of the axle, leaving you with a much better angle on your drive shaft. So like that, it allows for better articulation and of course overall better performance. And of course just throw our ball joint in there. Okay, there we are, first one built. Now I'm just going to show you guys one of each. The next upper one, so the short straight upper ones, you're going to be fitting as well 2 spacers. One over there. Don't forget another spacer on the other side. And your end. One and 2. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna grab the lower front, which is the short one, and we're gonna be using these funny bent ends, okay? And they're gonna go on the short end, so just screw that on. We're not gonna use any spacers on the lower links. Okay, and this is how it should end up. So this is for the front of your rig, okay, lower front of your rig, and now the back ones are the same. Again, you just put the 2 ends on with no spacers, It's only the uppers that you're going to put 2 spaces on each upper. Okay, I'm going to assemble these and I'll be right back. Okay, now that we've got all our links assembled, do not forget all the upper links have 2 spaces, one on either side. These spaces do look a bit thinner than the other ones I've used, but I think it will be okay. So let's assemble them. At the end, if it's not right, I can always take one side off and just put another spacer in. But for now, let's get these assembled. Okay, now that we've got to this stage, we can get our axles out, get our servo, and assemble all that before we fit it to the vehicle. Okay, now moving on to the axles and the servo. Let's get these axles open. I'm assuming this is the front one, as it's all squished, so it's got to be bigger. I'm really interested in seeing this, so let's see what we get in this package. Okay, so yeah, we've got the axle and the steering links and the laydown servo. So I'm gonna assemble these. The back one, we shouldn't have to do anything, and we need to also open this up so we can fit the servo. So let's just get it open right now. Okay, and once again, I gotta say, I really do like the look of these servos. They look awesome. I just wish they would make them waterproof now. Okay, but we've got a really cool servo to fit, and of course, we've got this axle. So let's get this open so we see exactly what we get in here. Nice and smooth they are. I'm still gonna open them up and just check if they need more grease. Of course, we get all the other little parts we need, all the hardware. I must say, these are some awesome kits, and I think they are definitely the most cost-effective way to go when you are building a rig. This is definitely the way to go if you want to save some bucks and have a completely awesome rig. So, let's see. This looks completely different to the other ones. Let's just grab that mount. I want to see this. Very intrigued with this part of the build because it's the first time I'm using the laydown servo on the Traxxas Trx4ms. Okay, so I assume this is going to be going something like this. Yeah, that's really cool. So it mounts on like this. You got to take these 2 screws out anyway so that you can fit the mount over there. Yeah, that's really interesting. So let's get this open. First thing, let's take these out. Look at that. It actually has a nice layer of grease in there. No complaints. It's nice and smooth, like I've said. I am just going to throw a little bit of extra grease in there. I'm not going to bother taking everything out because it will go around and it will end up going into the back anyway. Okay, now using these screws, they are inside the packet with all the hardware with the axles. You get 4 of them, and we are just going to throw them in on all 4 corners. Now that we've got it all assembled, I'm not going to put the servo on yet until I can fit this to the electronics, so I can centralize the servo so I can put it all on correctly. So we'll wait further on in the build to do that. Okay, grabbing the back axle now, I'm just going to quickly open it, grease it up, and then we're going to fit them to the rig. Okay, so let's start by fitting the front axle to the rig. So we're going to need to find the longest screw provided. I think there's only one of these, and that's going to go right through underneath the servo to hold the upper links. Now we're going to grab our front drive shaft and we're going to fit that before we fit our next links. Don't forget, when fitting your drive shafts, make sure they're in phase, so pin with pin. Okay, so now we're going to grab the shocks so that we can get them assembled, so we can actually get our axles on the rig, because without them they're just going to be hanging around. And for the shocks I went for the 59mm without the piggy, and I think they are awesome shocks. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is open them and fill them with oil. So let's get these off. Cap off. Now, I'm not going to bore you guys on filling up the shocks and how to set them up. If you guys want to know exactly how to do that, there will be a video up on this little corner here, and you guys can go and check that video out. It will show you in detail the different setups you can do to your shocks depending on how you want to run your rig. So let me get on with this. I'll be right back as soon as I'm finished filling the shocks. And as you can all see, we have now got it all mounted up. It's standing good. I like the level that it's standing at. Once we get the body on it, it'll probably sit a little bit lower. But it's looking good right now. We've got enough rebound out of the shocks for it not to stay flat to the floor. So I'm quite happy with that setup. As you can all see as well, the servo has got plenty of space, nowhere for it to catch. So I really like that setup. This is looking really good. So let's move on to the next stage. We can now fit the body. So let's assemble the body and let's get it installed, and then we can do the wheels and electronics. So I have been looking forward to this for ages. So let's get into this box. Look at the way it comes packed. I like that. It comes inside the little box like that. You get some instructions and you also get some stickers like always. So let's get this body out of there. Wow, I've got to say that does look good. Wow, 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 look at that. Oh, I love the detail. That looks really good. I'm a bit disappointed that the door handles aren't real door handles. Besides that, it's looking really, really nice. Look at that. Oh, I love the color. Very nice color. So, that's the body. Let's see what else we get in here. We get all the back for the truck. This looks like one of the bumper sets. Probably the rear. And we also get the lights provided and all the hardware we need to assemble this. So, let's get our table sorted out so we can assemble this one. Okay, so we end up with 4 different sizes. Now let's start assembling this. Okay, so let's start by pushing the grill in. Okay, we're gonna grab the light buckets, drop them in. Okay, and then the lights just go on here like this. Okay, now you're going to need a 1.3mm wrench. Out of the thinner screws that are provided, you're going to take the middle size, which is the 1.4x6. Now we are going to grab the shortest of the thin screws that are provided, and those go on the window. Okay, now we put the cab to the side. Might as well, before we do that, might as well stick our mirrors through quickly. Nice tight fit, and afterwards I'll just use the soldering iron to melt the tab flat so it doesn't just fall out when you roll. Okay, they are a very tight fit, but now we are ready to melt the tabs as well, so we'll melt that at the end before we fully assemble the whole body. Okay, now let's move on to building the back cage. Okay, so now we're going to grab the back panel and the side panel, and we are going to start putting them together like this. So we're going to use the 1.4x6, which was the first size screws you used, which out of the 3 thin ones, it is the middle size. Let's just put that through, grab our 1.3mm wrench. gonna grab the upper part of the cage and using again the same size screws, so now it's looking like this. Now all we've got to do is screw this together with this. We are going to use the longest of the thin screws that are provided. So this is the M1.4 by 8, and we are going to use them from this side. Okay, we are now going to grab the black pieces that they provide. You can tell it's got a little indentation which is going to hold the window. Okay, managed to get all that together, no problem. I must say that went together really easily. The hardest two screws to get to are those over there. Anyway, let's get on to fitting the bumpers to the chassis now. So we're gonna grab this little packet here, take these two out, and now we're gonna use the thickest screws provided, which if I'm not mistaken is the M2 by 6. So this looks like it's the back. Okay, so gonna grab the mount looking like that. You're going to slide it into the chassis and you're going to use the 2 mm by 6. So okay, let's grab the bumper now for the front and let's get that fitted. Just slides in like that. Okay, now that we've got it all installed, let's grab our lights. So here are the lights that are provided. I'm guessing the thinner ones are for the rear and the bigger ones are the front. We are just gonna stick these in like this. Okay, they're going nice and tight. Always use a little bit of super glue or something if they don't want to stay in and they keep falling out, but to me that looks good. Okay, that one's in, and the last one is in. Now we've just got to sort out our wiring to make it nice and tidy. Okay, I'm now just gonna grab a zip tie. I'm gonna tie all those together over there. Many pieces of the Velcro is included, so I'm going to use a piece to tidy up my wires. I'm going to stick that up. Okay, now moving on to the tires. We have got these awesome 1.3 brass rims from Injora, and I've got to say these things are huge. Okay, I haven't got any other rims around, but just for you to have an idea, they are quite a bit bigger than the standard rims that come on the rigs. Now the tire itself is also quite a bit bigger. As you can see, that's about a whole centimeter taller than this one, so quite a big difference. Okay, so let's assemble one quickly on camera. Oh, look at all that oil in there. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, if you find yours with all that oil in there too, I definitely recommend taking it and giving it a good wash before you assemble. All the oil is inside the bead, and all it's going to cause is your tire to come out. So let's go and wash all these. Okay, now that I've got them all washed and got rid of the oil, let's get one assembled. Let's see how they go together. I did buy these. I thought they come pre-assembled, but clearly you just get the rims inside the tires loose. I was trying to cheat, but it looks like there's no cheating for me. So let's start by putting our ring inside. Okay, now that I've got them all in at the same depth, I'm going to start tightening. 2 turns, 2 turns, 2 turns, 2 turns. Keep going in a zigzag pattern until they reach the bottom. Okay, you know what? Those went together really easily, and they look awesome. Look at that. Oh yeah, man. Okay, now we might as well get the rest done. So let me show you guys a trick I've learned. So we're just gonna take all 3 tires, we're gonna stack them like that, and you're gonna watch. They're gonna go together by themselves. Let's do it. 1, 2, bam! That's what you call magic, eh? Okay, now that we're done with the wheels, let's get the hexes onto the truck and we can then fit the wheels. So Wow, that does look awesome. These things are sick, man. What big wheels. Okay, let's get the rest on. That was definitely the quickest way to fit the tires. Now let's move on and fit the electronics to the vehicle. Okay, so let's start with our receiver. We're going to grab some double-sided tape. Okay, now that we've got that in, we can take our ECU and also pop that in. So I'm going to be fitting it like that in here as well. Okay, so let's get our double-sided tape on the back of the ECU. I'm going to install it this way so the motor terminal is closer. Okay, and there we go. That's the electronics in. Now let's get them wired up. So, I'm going to start here by plugging in our motor cable. Make sure you look positive, use the red. Okay, now we're going to grab a power cable, which is for the battery. Okay, now we've only got the last one to fit, which is our cable to go to our receiver. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, our negative will be that way, so it's going to go in like that, and this one will be going to port number 2. So once again, the same style, white over to this side, if I'm not mistaken, and we're going to go into port number 2. Now we're going to undo our servo and plug that in as well, so we can get it centralized. And then we can put our servo horn on. This one will be going to port number 1. And your lights plug in on port number 3. There you are. Okay. Now that we've got everything plugged in, let's grab the battery tray. Now, like I've mentioned, I'm going to use a stock battery tray because my carbon fiber one did not arrive, same as my hardened drive lines. So I will install this for now, but as soon as the other parts arrive, we will swap them over. So let's just throw this in. We're just going to be running the normal Traxxas battery. Soon we'll be picking up some 3S batteries so we can test out the 3S on it and see how it performs. Okay, now we got to get the controller. Okay, let's get some batteries in here. So, controller on, and let's turn on the vehicle, plug in the battery in. Nice tight fit to the plug, and I think there's an on button, so there we go. Oh yeah, let's just try the throttle. Oh, I can already tell this is awesome. Okay, let's just make sure our steering trim is right in the middle. Okay, it's bang on. So that means we just got to get our servo horn on as straight as we can. Quickly gonna grab our servo horn. Let's try and get it as central as possible. Let's just see, where is this gonna be? So as you can all see, it's or over that way a little bit, or that. So I'm gonna opt for that because that looks like the closest to me to having a straight steering. Don't forget a little bit of Loctite on your servo screw. Now we're gonna have to adjust with the steering trim. Let's just see the modulation. First things first, servo is insanely fast. Now, slow crawl. Guys, the modulation from this Escape from Injora is amazing. It is so smooth. Wow. Yeah, that is extremely impressive. You definitely don't need a brushless system anymore. The brush systems have caught up. This is amazing. We'll soon be able to do some tests because I'm waiting for a brushless vehicle to arrive. Oh, I'll be able to do a comparison between this brushed setup and a brushless setup from FuryTech. But as you guys can see, this thing is awesome. It's moving really good, looking really good. Now, all I've got to do is get all the wiring tidied up and, of course, need to personalize this body a bit with a couple of my stickers, and we'll hit the track to go and give it a couple of tests. I do think the foams in these tires are too soft for the weight I'm running, so in the next video we'll probably be addressing this issue and using some different foams. So you guys can see, this is what it's turned out like inside. It's nice and tidy. I can't wait until I get the carbon fiber battery tray because this one is very tight in the body over here, but it does fit. Besides that, everything went together really, really well. I'm really impressed with their laydown servo setup. That went together very nicely. The tires and rims are awesome. I do think they should think about making a bit of a stiffer insert for these tires. Let's hope they come out with the gel inserts like they have for the 110 scales. Let's see if they'll come out for the little ones as well, because they are awesome. Besides that, this chassis is really, really nice. The way it went together, the way everything fits onto it. Overall, I am really happy with that product. Besides that, you've got this awesome body. I think it went together really well. It looks really nice. There's a lot more we can do to it to personalize it and make it look even cooler. But it, in my opinion, is an awesome body, especially at the price that we are paying for it. Okay, now that we have spoken about the awesome parts on this build and my opinion on them, let's get out. Let's go and give it a test around my backyard course. Let's go and test this thing thoroughly to make sure it has been well set up. And before I do that, I just want to say thanks for joining me. I hope you all enjoyed this one. If you do, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash the bell so you don't miss any of our latest content. All that really helps my small channel get out there so I can bring you more cool content like this. So for now, I'll catch you all on the next one. Before I end the video, I just want to talk about the modulation, what comes with this new 20 amp escape from Injora. And I've got to say, I am really impressed with the slow crawl and the silentness of this system. This is unbeatable. I have not had any other system that's brushed that's this quiet and got such amazing modulation. Besides that, the new chassis they've come out with is amazing, and I'm really impressed with the overall product. Now, the new IR40 body that we are looking at, I've got to say, is amazing. Its detail is outstanding. It was easy to put together. It came with good instructions. So in my opinion, a great product from Injora. Besides that, I've got to say that the new laydown servo system is also another awesome addition to the Traxxas Trx4m. Overall, I am completely blown away by the products that Injora has come out with for the Traxxas Trx4m, and these here have not let me down at all. So if you're looking to build something really cool at a good affordable price, go and check Injora out, because they've got some awesome products. In the next few videos we will be addressing the weight distribution issues, because besides that, everything else is working really amazingly. But this modulation, just check it out. And it's so silent, I can't hear the car at all. And another thing I'm impressed with are these servos from Injora. Look at the speed. It's crazy. Overall, guys, once again, Injora has killed it. And all I can say is thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. Without all of you, this wouldn't be possible. But please don't forget to like, subscribe and comment, as it really helps my small little channel get out to more people, so that I can bring you some more awesome content like this. So thanks for all the support, everyone, and I will see you all on the next one.